Every other cost in this series can go down. You can right-size compute, redraw a topology, pick a cheaper curve. Storage is different. It only ever goes up because the default action for data is to keep it, and keeping is invisible, while deleting requires someone to decide. So this month you're paying for logs from 2019 that no human has opened since 2019. You are paying for the backups of a service you decommissioned. You are paying for 6 copies of a dataset because 6 teams each made their own. None of that was a decision. It was the absence of a decision, accumulating at a monthly rate, which is the most expensive kind of nothing. The cloud gives you tiers, and they map to a simple question. How fast do you need this back? Hot storage is instant and expensive for data you read constantly. Warm is cheaper and slightly slower for data you touch occasionally. Cold is much cheaper and measured in slower access for data you almost never want. And archive is nearly free to hold for data you keep because a regulator says so and hope to never read. The mistake almost everyone makes is leaving everything in hot because that is the default and moving it takes thought. Most of what sits in your expensive tier has not been read in months and does not need to be there, and nobody has looked. But cold storage has a trap, and it catches the people who were trying to be responsible. The cheap tiers are cheap to keep and expensive to read. That is the whole deal. You traded access cost for storage cost. So if you move data to archive, and then it turns out you need it regularly, your bill can go up, not down, because every retrieval is charged, and you are now paying to read what you thought you were saving money by storing. Which means tiering is not a filing exercise. It is a prediction about future access, and getting it wrong in the confident direction is worse than leaving it in hot. Archive the things you are genuinely sure you will not read, not the things you are merely bored of. The mechanism that fixes this is boring, and that is exactly why it never gets written. A lifecycle policy. A rule that says data of this kind moves to warm after 30 days, cold after 90, and is deleted after however long the law and the business actually require. Written once, it runs forever, and it turns retention from a thing nobody does into a thing nobody has to. And notice this is code. It lives next to the bucket. It belongs in the same review as the thing that writes the data. The reason it does not exist is not difficulty. It is that writing the data was a feature with a deadline, and deciding when to stop paying for it was nobody's job, so it defaulted to keep forever, which is a policy, just an unwritten and expensive one. And underneath all of it is the real reason storage grows forever, which is not technical at all. Deleting feels dangerous and keeping feels safe, and that asymmetry is emotional, not rational. If you delete something and it turns out you needed it, that is a visible mistake with your name on it. If you keep everything and it costs a fortune, that is a diffuse cost with nobody's name on it. So every individual is correct to hoard, and the organization pays for it collectively, which is the exact structure of the whole series showing up one more time. The fix is to make the retention decision explicit and owned. Someone decides, on purpose, in writing, what is worth keeping and for how long, so that keeping becomes a choice rather than the thing that happens when nobody chooses. So storage is a decision to keep, made by default, forever. Next, we look at the discounts, the ones that promise to cut your compute bill by a large fraction if you are willing to commit. They are real, and they are not free money. They are payment for a promise about a future you cannot actually see. Next episode, spot, reserved, and committing to a guess. See you there.